Good evening, everyone. Welcome to JockJive Sports here at Prince George County in Virginia. We're at the Grayson P. Austin Field for the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series Ponytails edition. I'm Trey James. I'll be your announcer for this game. Let me fix this here real quick because that should never have been set up here. Let me see. Hold on for a second. Take that off. I forgot to take the score off from the previous game. That's my fault. There we go. And I got to change the names here because it's Prince George versus South Carolina.
Leading off the game for South Carolina, number 17, Jones.
All right, as we get the game to start here. That's strike one. So we're at the top of the first. Count 0-1 to Mackenzie Jones, who hits a ball down to the pitcher, and then she is safe at first base. The ball went between the first baseman and the pitcher there. So the first batter of the game gets on base, Mackenzie Jones. She is number 17, and she plays second base for the South Carolina Ponytails. Up next is Zoe Springs, number 24, who plays right field. Ball thrown down to second. Jones is safe. And the count is 1-0 to Zoe Springs. Springs is in the batting box. The pitcher for Prince George is Emma Banton. She's and the catcher runs back the runner back. There you go. Runner back. Didn't make it. She made it back. She made it back. Second baseman dropped the ball. Count is 1-1 to Zoe Springs. Good play by the catcher, number 0, Bristol Ure. Pitcher is looking for some assistance from her coach, looking at the wrist. They have these little cards on their wrists. Count is 2-1 to Zoe Springs. Mackenzie Jones is on second. No outs here in the top of the first of the Ponytail division of Prince George versus South Carolina. Prince George is the home team. South Carolina is the away team. 2-2 to Zoe Springs. Here comes the pitch from Natalie Hatch. That's foul ball. Count remains 2-2. 2-2 to Springs. And the pitch swing is strike three for Natalie Hatch. Springs goes down swinging. Jones stays at second. And up comes Nyla Jordan. She is the catcher for South Carolina. She wears number 13. So one away. High ball two, ball one. Catcher number 0, Bristol Ure, who's running back Jones to the second base bag. And I don't know if you can hear the screamings from this team in the dugouts. You will hear that all game. Strike one, swinging. Jordan was a little fooled on that play. Murray gets behind the plate. Jordan gets back into the box. And Hatch is ready to throw. Oh, that's a squeaker down on the ground, and Ure holds on to the pitch because Jones has now stolen third off the pass ball. 2-1 to Jordan. Hatch throws in. Ball 3. Jones is still at third. Jordan is ahead in the count 3-1 against Prince George's pitchers Natalie Hatch. And the pitch popped up, fouled off the backstop. So that brings the count full, 3-2. 1 out here in the top of the first. I don't know if you can tell, but some of the lights have come on. Even though it's still pretty well lit, it's going to get dark before this game is over. And the pitch inside. Jordan takes a walk down the first base. So with runners at first and third, with 1 out, Hatch gets back on the rubber and is about to deliver to Blythe Buzzard. She is number 5 and plays third base for South Carolina. As a ball, according to the ump. And the umps know what they're doing because they're well-trained and professional individuals who have no bias whatsoever. I'm not kidding about that, really. They all do a fine job here for this tournament. That's low and inside. Jordan stays at first, Jones stays at first, while Jordan is at first for a walk. Actually, she's on second. My apologies. She did steal second. All right, 2-0 is the count. And that is foul ball barely. 2-1. Two and 1 to Buzzard. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Outside ball 3. My apologies, that's Cameron Campbell. My apologies. Cameron Campbell is at the plate. She's number 4. She plays shortstop for South Carolina, so let me apologize to the Campbell family. That is fouled off. The count remains 3-2 now. So Campbell is full count with 1 out. Sorry for the confusion there. This is my 5th game today. I'm a little tired. Hatch delivers. Now is driven down to third base. The third baseman touches the bag. There was no force at third. There was no force at third. Jordan gets to third easily because it was not a forced play. The third baseman touched the bag and threw over to first, thinking that the bases were loaded, but that wasn't the case. So Jordan stays at third. Jones scores on the play. Campbell is at second due to the hit. And now Buzzard comes up, Buzzhard comes up, number 5, who is the third baseman for South Carolina. Got a group blocking the center field camera, so I'm going to stay on the home plate camera. So let me get everything back to normal here. Still 1 out. South Carolina is leading 1-0 here in the top of the first with 1 out. And Blythe Buzzhard is coming up to plate. She is number 5, and she holds the 5th position in the fielding at third base. And she's batting left. There we go. Now we can go back to the center field camera now that everybody's out of the way. Hatch delivers. That is low, ball 1. So we have second and third, 1 out. Count is 1-0 to Blythe Buzzhard. I just want to make sure I pronounce that correctly. Ball hits the plate, so ball 2. 2-0 to Blythe. Well, let's go that way. How about that? We just address her by her first name. Now, I'm pretty sure it's Buzzhard. Buzzhard. Two and 0. Bounces it up there for 3-0. The catcher, Bristol Uray, is able to keep that ball from getting past her. So Jordan stays at third, and Campbell stays at second. Hatch checks her wrist. That's outside, ball 4. The bases are now loaded. Bases loaded for Ursley Patterson. She's number 2, and she plays first base for South Carolina. So you got Jordan at third, Campbell at second, Buzzhard at first due to the walk, and you have Ursley Patterson at the plate. Ball 1 to Ursley. Patterson takes a walk down to the coach, starts talking, gets some information and direction from the third base coach, while Hatch looks at her wrist tag to show what she has to do to pitch. And the pitch is strike 1. I think Hatch has found the strike zone again. She had thrown several balls in a row, previous batters. Okay, the count is 1-1 with 1 out. The ball is hit back up to first or second base, and then the player is out at second. Buzzhard is out at second. Jordan scores. Campbell's over at third. We have a little bit of discussion here. Hold on for a second. They're being talked to by the coach. Hold on for a second. What's going on here? All right. I don't know what's going on. All right. Somehow there was a double play that occurred at second and first or third. It was just a lot of chaos going on here. So the South Carolina team is talking to the head umpire. But let me see if I can get an idea of what what went on here. So we had Jordan at third, Campbell at second, Buzzard at first. Patterson was up to bat. She hit the ball to second baseman, who then tossed it to second base, who then threw to first. But the first base didn't look like that Patterson was out. Now maybe something had occurred that I did not see. So if that was the case where there was a double play, all right, so that was probably the case where Patterson hit it into a double play. All right, so that was a 4-6-3 putout. That's how we'll list it as. All right, so it is 2-0 because the run did score before the third out was occurred. So it's 2-0 going into the bottom of the first. Prince George is now coming to bat. And Prince George will have Natalie Merritt lead off with Bristol Ure batting second and Natalie Hatch, the pitcher, batting third. So as we go to the bottom of the first, the skies are getting a little darker, and that's why the lights are on, and we will need them within the next 20 minutes easy.
Leading off Prince George in the bottom of the first inning. Number 2, Natalie Merritt.
Scenes up number 13, Caitlin Lippard, or Kalich. Is that how that's spelled? Kaylee Lippard is, I'm going to double check in the World Series panel to make sure I get that pronunciation right. But the number 13 for South Carolina is the catcher. So it's Nyla Jordan. Nyla Jordan is the catcher for good. She has an arm. That's what the whole point was about. She has an arm. So Merritt fouls one off to the right side. So it's 0-1. A lot of cheering going on behind me. Pitch is low, ball 1. South Carolina pitcher is Ava Forrest, and her battery mate is Nyla Jordan. Like I said before, Nyla Jordan has quite an arm because she threw it down to second base to start the inning and threw a strike. So Merritt gets back in the box, awaiting the pitch from Ava Forrest. The pitch comes in, and she tries to bunt her way on, but it goes foul. So now the count is 1-2. One and two. Merritt gets back into the box. Forrest is about getting ready to throw, and she lets loose. Strike 3, Merritt caught looking. That is the first out. So Merritt K's at her first at bat, and that brings up Bristol Ure, the catcher for South Carolina. Forrest gets on the mound, throws, and that is a little high for ball 1. Ure sets in the box. Forrest delivers. Ball 2. So it's 2-0 to Ure. Nobody on, 1 out. Bottom of the first. Ball 3 outside. And that is ball 4. Walked on 4 pitches. So as Ure runs down the first base, number 8, Natalie Hatch, the pitcher for Prince George, is up. Forrest is having a hard time finding the strike zone right now. That's her 5th ball in a row. It's 1-0 to pitcher Natalie Hatch. Strike 1, swinging. I can tell you right now that some of these kids are going to wake up tomorrow morning with no voice. That's fouled away by Hatch. 1-2 is the count now with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. I got to tell you, these kids have spirit, though. They are just full of it. They just want to play. 1-2. Hit back right between the pitcher's legs, going into center field. Ure is heading to third and will arrive safely, while Hatch ends up at second on the throw to third. So on a 1-2 pitch, she drives a ball right between the pitcher's legs. And number 12, Charlie Dabney, is now coming up. And the pitch. Strike 1. So 0-1, 2 on. We got Ure at third and Hatch at second. And Dabney is at the plate waiting on the pitch. Time called by the umpire. Coach wants to talk to Dabney. Okay, 0-1 count. Back into the game, 1 out. Dabney's up, waiting for the pitch from Forrest. And she tries to bunt. Catcher throws it down to third base. No good. Back and safe. 0-2 to count to Dabney. Oh, 2 with 1 out to Dabney. And waiting the pitch. High, ball 1. One and 2 to Dabney. Steps back in the box. Forrest spins the ball, waiting for Dabney to get set, and she delivers. Swing, strikes her out. So 2 outs, 2 on, and Clippard is up now. Or Lippard, my apologies, Lippard. Kaylee Lippard. I want to make sure it says Kaylih. So Kaylee Lippard. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Strike 2, called strike 2. So 0-2 is the count. 2 out. High, ball 1. I guess Forrest wanted to see if Lippert would chase that and end the inning. One and 2 to count. And the pitch, strike 3, caught looking. That ends the inning. So as we head to the top of the second, South Carolina still leads 2-0. All right, as we come to the top of the second, South Carolina will be sending Aubrey Marnotti. That's Aubrey Marnotti. She is number 22 and plays center field, followed by Ava Fry and Reese Shaw. And as the infielders gather around the pitcher at the mound, offer up a little encouragement.
Number 22, Aubrey Marnotti.
Okay, as Marnotti steps into the box, she's awaiting the pitch from Hatch. Ooh, the ball a little high, gets past the catcher. 1-0 to count. Ball low. 2-0 to count. Two and 0 to Marnotti. And the pitch, strike 1. Two and 1 to count. No outs here in the top of the second. Ball 3. Hatch checks her wrist badge. See what the next pitch should be for her. 3-1. That's back to the pitcher, Hatch, who tosses it over to the first baseman, Charlie Dabney, for the first out.
Stepping now, number 12, Ava Fry.
So Mornardi grounds out to the pitcher, so it's a 1-3 put out. Ava Fry, number 12, playing left field for the South Carolina team. And that was a rolling gopher ball. Ball one. There's a bouncer. He got past the catcher. Fry is up there looking to bunt. Or just a fake bunt. As she pulls the bat back, 2-0. Hatch is having a bit of a problem finding the strike zone. Now this is a winner-take-all game. Both teams have lost one game. So with that in mind, the loser of tonight's game will go home. Up, Fry lays down a perfect bunt, but Hatch jumps off the mound to get to the ball and throws it out to Dabney for the second out. Great play by Hatch to be able to get off the mound, get that ball, and throw out Fry at first base. So that's another 1-3 put out. So for this inning, looks like the only two people involved is the pitcher, the batter, and the third baseman. Oh, sorry, the catcher. So that's four people involved. So the pitcher, the catcher, the batter, and the first baseman. Everybody else is standing around looking at each other like going, well, we playing too, so how about hitting us the ball? So two away right now. The count is 1-0. That's a slow roller out to the catcher. 2-0 is the count. She's releasing the ball a little too soon. That seems to be the issue. So if she holds on to it just for a split second more, she'll be able to get the ball up a little bit. I don't know if it's because she's tired, because they had played a game earlier. And that's high, 3-0. And she held on to the ball too long. She needs that happy medium right in the middle. I'm sure Hatch will get it. But like I said, these players are probably tired. Long day. This is their second game each. And that ball is hit out to center fielder and caught. Center fielder for Prince George is Farrah Vaughn. She makes the final out in the top of the third. And we will go to the top of the second, my apologies. We will now go to the bottom of the second. So that is a fly out to number 8 for Shaw. And Prince George will come up to bat in the bottom of the second, where it'll be Farrah Vaughn, who caught the ball to end the inning, Macy Gibson, and Bradley Oakley. So Farrah is number 14 playing center field. Gibson is number 16 playing left field. And Oakley is number 11 playing second base. Two 2-0 South Carolina over Prince George at this point. They will play 6 innings. Ponytails only play 6 innings while the Bells play 7. And can you believe over 600 players, not people, players, have come to Prince George in Virginia, or Prince George County in Virginia. We're just outside Hopewell, Virginia. It's about 7 miles away. And so the facilities for Prince George County is located just outside Hopewell. And we're at the Grayson P. Austin Field. But over 600 people, players and coaches, have traveled to Prince George County for the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series. And each team that plays here is representing the state champions from 10 different states. And it's a 2-week tournament. Now, we've already are in our 3rd day, but the 2nd day got rained out halfway through, so it kind of pushed Saturday to be a very long day. And my first call was to finish up a game between North and South Carolina that started at 9:30 this or 10:30 this morning, and I'm on my 5th game now for the day. So it gives you an idea how long this day has been for not only the players, but for the people behind. That is strike 1 against Vaughn. So we have no outs, 0-1 to count to Vaughn. Forrest is delivering just on the outside of the plate for ball. So 1-1. Let me get back to it. So that's getting a little dark. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to hold that camera. And that's a pitch up to the shortstop, throws it over to first base just in time for the first out. That was a good throw by shortstop Cameron Campbell. And she threw it over to Ursley Patterson at first base for the first out. So that was a 6-3 put out. Gibson, number 16, or number 11. No, wait a minute. Who's number 16 for Prince George? There we go, Macy Gibson. She plays left field for Prince George. She bolts one down, almost nails the next batter, Oakley, standing in the or the warm-up circle. So it's 0-1 with 1 out. Nobody on. Let me see what the center field. Yeah, it's a little dark, but we have a player blocking, so we're going to go back to this shot. We switch balls, and the umpire is calling time and giving the ball to the third base coach. All right, so we got 0-1 with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Gibson at the plate, and the pitch by Foster. Or Forrest, my apologies, Forrest. 1-1. Gibson leans in. 2-1. There's time by the umpire. Something is going on with the pitcher that he wants to discuss with her. He's probably looking at the ball. Maybe he saw something erratic with the ball and did not like it, so it might be out of shape. Not sure. But either way, the Forrest has a new ball. And we're waiting on the ump to get ready before Gibson can step back into the plate or into the box. It's 2-1 the count, 1 out. Umpire's ready. All right, here we go. As Forrest delivers, strike 2 to Gibson. 2-2. Forrest delivers, high and outside, 3-2. Full count, 1 out to Gibson. And it's getting darker, as you can see. The lights are helping, but the camera in center field is under cover. That is strike 3 to Gibson for the second out. So that's 2 away here in the bottom of the second. Nobody on. And I'm going to jump back to this shot. This camera's under a better light. Okay, so Gibson K'd on that last bat, and then Oakley is now bounced one over the first baseman's head. Safe. The right fielder came in and grabbed the ball, almost got Oakley at first base, but she was running down fast enough to beat the throw from right field. So here we go, 2 outs, bottom of the second. Oakley's on first. And now Emma Banton, number 23, the right fielder, comes to the bat. Number 23, Emma Banton. And the pitch. That is belted to left field, but the left fielder is in close enough to get the ball for the third out. So they strand one runner. So we're going to the top of the third. The score remains 2-0 South Carolina over Prince George. And if you're keeping score, that was fly out to number 7, so pop out to number 7. Okay. So South Carolina is going to come up to bat in the top of the third. And they will have Ava Forrest bat, followed by Kylie McLaurin and Angie Rios. You're listening to the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series here at Grayson P. Austin Field. Prince George versus South Carolina. The score is 2-0. I'm Trey James. I'm your announcer. Play-by-play and color kind of mixed together. I'm playing with my colors. How about that? I like coloring. For the most part, I stay in the line. Sometimes I go out, you know, depending on what I want to do. Maybe I want to draw something outside the lines just because I want to add something that the original artist didn't add in. So it's okay to go outside the lines. Never tell a child to stay in the lines. Stifles creativity. And if you tell an adult to stay in the lines, you might be ducking a right hook. You never know. Okay, we got Ava Forrest, number 3. She's the pitcher. And she belts one over the shortstop, but is caught by the center fielder who was running on the hit. So that was a nice catch by center fielder Prince George Farrah Vaughn. That is the second time she was able to track down a ball and save the base hit. So now there's 1 out. That was an 8 unassisted. So we have Rios up the plate. She bats left. Oh, I'm sorry, this is McLaurin. This is McLaurin. She's an extra player. She wears number 7. She bats left. The count is 0-1 at this point. Oh, she looked like she was going to swing, but she held off. 1-2, or 1-1, my apology. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third. Yeah, all these kids are going to have sore throats in the morning. Laryngitis. I think some throat lozenges and some ice packs will help. 2-1 the count. McLaurin's in the box, waiting delivery from Hatch. And it bounces in there for ball 3. Hatch has been having a problem all night with release point. Speed's not a problem. She's got plenty of speed. And she has enough to where she can slow it up to confuse the batter. That's not a problem. But the release point, it's that field. You got to be able to release it at a proper time. So that is ball 4. So McLaurin goes to first on 5 pitches. There we have Angie Rios come up. She also bats left. She is an extra player. on the field, and also she wears number 20. Hatch rings and delivers. Rios bunts it down, takes it to, she is out barely. The third baseman, number 13, Kaylee Lippert, came in and grabbed the ball. That's usually the catcher's play, but the third baseman was able to come in, grab the ball in time, throw it down to the first baseman, Charlie Dabney, and able to get Rios out. And on the play, McLaurin moves up to second. So now we have Jones, Mackenzie Jones. She will be coming up for the second time now in this game. She was able to get on base the first time and score one of the 2 runs. The count was 0-1. It is now 1-1. Yep, those players are going to be hoarse in the morning. That ball gets Byers ball 2. Two and one's the count, and McLaurin goes to third on the pass ball. Or wild pitch, I should say, really. That is not the catcher's fault. Hatch has been throwing balls like that all night. And Jones gets the ball down, but it is taken out by the second baseman and thrown to first for the third out. So we will go to the bottom of the third with the score still remaining 2-0 South Carolina over Prince George.
Funds for these scholarships came from many sources, including donations. We ask you to consider making such a contribution, and by doing so, you will help more graduates from the Dixie Softball League to continue their education. If you will help, simply contact one of your officials at the tournament. They will provide information and explain what to do. Thanks for your gift from Dixie Softball and the youngsters that it will help.
So we're now here in the bottom of the third. Prince George is going to take the offense right now, and we have Adriana Chisholm, who has yet to bat in this game, will lead off, number 18. She is one of the extra players. Number 15, Cassidy McKay, will follow her, and number 1, Brianna Dalton, will be the third. No, we did not mention the coaches for the team. So Prince George's head coach is Jason Stuckey, and the assistant coaches is Lexi Call and Bubba Dabney. So South Carolina is in the field at this point, and Chisholm is waiting to come to bat as the umpire takes care of the plate. He deserves a clean plate award. So Adriana Chisholm is waiting. Let's see what that center field camera looks like. Yeah, it's really dark. I think we're going to have to stick on here for a while. All right. As Forrest gets ready to pitch, throws it in for a ball.
There's a Kia Sportage out in the lot. License plate 348642 with the lights on. Kia Sportage.
That's fouled off by Chisholm, evening the count at 1-1.
One ball. What's up?
Hey, seat out the hand, Granddad. Seat out the hand.
Chisholm waits to pitch. Outside ball 2.
Come Come on. One strike.
Ooh, just low. 3-1. I think Forrest wanted that pitch. But it's 3-1. And that is driven down to first base under the glove of the first base, Prince George first baseman's Charlie Dabney. So Chisholm is able to get to first. Oh, wait a minute. They're saying that was a foul ball. That looked like it went right over the. Oh, it might have went over the extra side of the bag, but it looked like it was a fair ball. But no, they brought her back. The count is 3-1. And now, or 3-2 is the count. Anyway, so above all that, or aside from all that, Chisholm ends up at first base on a walk. All right, we have number 15, Cassidy McKay, coming to the plate with one on. Swing and a miss. Strike one. And the pitch is fouled off, saved right off the top of that batting cage, the backstop, and it almost hit the catcher. That's 0-2. Needs to be a little bigger. And the pitch. That's 1-2, the count. Chisholm's on first base, just waiting for something so she can get on the second. And McKay is waiting the pitch from Forrest. Count is 1-2 with no outs. Outside, ball two. All right, we have the pitch from Forrest. Strike three, swinging. So we got one out now. That's how dark it is, really, without all the lights here. Just to give you an idea. So this complex is really good. I mean, it has a lot of really state-of-the-art stuff that they got going on here. Swing and a miss from Dalton. Brianna Dalton, number one. So Chisholm still at first. 0-1 the count to Dalton. Strike two. And the pitch, fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Dalton gets back into the box. One out, up, backs out. Okay, now she's back in. She wants a hit, I can just tell. Forrest gets on the mound and pitches. Up. The catcher, Ure, throws down the first to try and catch Chisholm off first. Dalton's in the box, 1-2, 1 out. Drives the ball, it's foul ball. Foul ball, the count is 1-2. And the pitch. Strike 3 caught. Dalton looking for number 2. She just caught the outside of the plate for the strike. So with 2 outs now in the bottom of the 3rd, and Chisholm is still waiting at first. Merritt is now up to bat. Natalie Merritt, the shortstop for Prince George. Count is 1-0. Merritt struck out her last at bat, and that's strike 2. Oh, that's going to end the inning. Chisholm was caught stealing at second for the 3rd out. Merritt will come back to bat in the bottom of the 4th. So we're going to the top of the 4th right now. But Merritt will come back up for that since she is still not struck out or put the ball in play. I'm going to adjust something here. I'll be right back.
Pitcher on the mound for Prince George, number 13, Kaylin Lippert. Leading off for South Carolina. Top of the 4th inning, number 24, Zoe Springs.
Two balls, two strikes. Three balls, two strikes. 24, how much? That hit me. Go get it. Coming in. Three balls, two strikes.
Brings up out number 1. Stepping to the plate, number 13, Nyla Jordan. One ball, one strike. One ball, two strikes. Two balls, two strikes. Second out of the inning. Batting for South Carolina, number 4, Starting now, number 5. Play.
Be ready.
And on that play, closes out the top half of the 4th inning. With your score, South Carolina 2, Prince George 0. Prince George coming to the plate. Again, we'd like to thank Prince George County and the Prince George Rec Department and all the many wonderful volunteers we've had to make this weekend happen. We also would like to thank Dixie Softball for all that they do to continue to let these ladies play a wonderful game of softball. Thank you.
Yes, there is a game after this. Don't know who's playing it, but it's all because of the rain out yesterday. We had several games canceled because of the game, and then several games couldn't even be played. And the reason why they're trying to crash everything into this day is because tomorrow is the last day of this part of the tournament. Tuesday and Wednesday they're supposed to be off, so they can revitalize themselves, and then we'll start back up on the 24th, and we'll go from there. So I just want to make sure those dates are correct here. Hold on for a second. Yes, the 24th. So anyway, actually it all ends on the 24th. Yes, this goes from the 19th to the 24th. So anyway, let me check my calendar here. So the 24th is Wednesday. But I think there's going to be, and then it continues on next week from the 25th through the 31st for the second round of this. But I believe they're trying to get everything done by the 23rd. So either way, what we're trying to do is get all these games in today because tomorrow is the first bracket. Yes, they're trying to get everything done by the 22nd, and the 23rd is only if they have so many people, there's so many teams that have lost one. But then that's the Bells. Now the Ponytails, they're done on the 23rd. And then we had the second bracket, the Darlings and the Angels Xplay. They're the younger teams. They will play from the 26th to the 31st. So that's what they're all trying to do. They're trying to get everything done by the 24th, or the 23rd, my apologies, with the 24th as a backup date. That was Prince George's number 2. That was Natalie Merritt. She was batting when Dalton, Cade, and then Chisholm was thrown out at second to end the inning. So Merritt is now on first. Oh, no, she was called out. My apology. So that was a 5-3 out. 5-3 out. And now we have Bristol Uri with a count of 1-0 to her. So Uri is in the box, waiting delivery. And that is strike one. Ball two. Ava Forrest is still pitching for South Carolina. Strike two. 2-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. And the pitch. Just outside. Full count, 3-2. And the pitch from Forrest. That is driven out to his second baseman, who dives and catches it and gets her out. Gets Merritt out, or Uri out at first base. But the shortstop or the second baseman for South Carolina, that's number 4, Mackenzie Jones. She was able to make a diving play, get up, throw over to the first baseman, Ersley Patterson, for the play to get Uri out. So it's a 4-3 put out. And now we have number 8, Natalie Hatch, at the plate with a count of 1-0 on her. We have 2 outs. There we go. And the pitch. A little low, ball 2. I don't know, with all the games I called today, I think I might be a little hoarse tomorrow. Thank God for throat lozenges. Strike just caught the inside of the plate. 2-1. I think I might bring a cushion for the seat. 2-1 with 2 outs to Hatch. Low and outside, ball 3. And the delivery fouled off by Hatch. Brings the count to full, 3-2. Hatch knocks it to the right, out of bounds. Bounces off the top of the clubhouse for the dugout for the Prince George team. Count remains 3-2. So it's 3-2 to Hatch with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. And Hatch drives it over to the shortstop, who throws it to first base. and hangs on to the ball for the third and final out. So Hatch grounds out to the shortstop for the 6-3 putout. So that ends the fourth inning. We'll now go to the top of the fifth with South Carolina still leading 2-0. Definitely been a defensive game. And the only two runs that were scored in the first inning. All right, as we go into the top of the fifth, we have Patterson leading off with Moranti following there and Fry after that. So Ursley Patterson will be batting first, Aubrey Moranti batting second, and Ava Fry batting third. Well, it's now 9:11 here on the Sunday evening. Excuse me, a hiccup. 9:11 on a Sunday evening. It's the 21st of July. Long day.
Leading off the top of the fifth inning for South Carolina, number 2, Ursley Patterson.
As Prince George breaks the huddle at the mound, Ursley Patterson comes to the plate. South Carolina leading 2-0 here in the top of the fifth. Lippert is still pitching. That was ball one. As driven out over the second baseman's head, center fielder picks up the ball and throws it into number 2 for Prince George, Natalie Merritt. The center fielder is Farrah Vaughn, number 14, and she held Patterson to a single. Number 22, Mornati, that's it, Marnati, M-A-R-N-A-T-I, Marnati. I always try and make sure I get these names pronounced correctly because they have families. They want to make sure that they're not butchered, because I have had names butchered before and it just kind of bugs me. And that's why I want to try and make sure I get these people's names correctly. Marnardi. And she is coming to bat with Patterson on first, with nobody out in the top of the fifth. Swing and a miss. Strike one. The count is 0-1. Marnati gets it back in the box, awaiting the pitch from Lippert. And she drives a high fly ball in between the shortstop and second baseman, or shortstop and center fielder. But because Patterson had to wait to see if it was going to get caught, and the center fielder Vaughn was able to pick up the ball, throw it to second, and Patterson was out. But Mornati is safe at first on the pop-up. So at the plate now is Fry, Ava Fry. So we got one out, runner at first, and Ava Fry at the plate with a count of 1-0. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike one.
One ball. One.
Counts 1-1 with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Ava Fry steps out of the batter's box for a second, wants to collect herself. And now she's back in, waiting the pitch from Lippard. Low and outside as Mornati takes off for second. She is safe. Mornati is safe at second. And that was a ball on that pitch, so the count is 2-1 to Fry. Lippard throws it in. 2-2's the count. Mornati gets back to second. 2-2 to Fry. And the pitch. Popped up. Pitcher takes it. Gets the second out. Chases Mornati back to second base. So Lippard catches that for one unassisted. So Mornati is at second, 2 outs. And now Reese Shaw is up the plate. That was ball 1. Reese Shaw at the plate, number 5. That was low, nice block by the catcher. So that's 2-0 the count. Reese Shaw is not a fielder. She is one of the extra players, at least for this game. And the pitch is fouled back for strike 1. I think that ball stuck. That ball stuck inside the fence, the backstop. And the umpire throws a ball at it. I would suggest throwing one of the players up there to get it, but we have a Prince George coach climbing the fence. He gets a round of applause from the crowd as he pretends he's a monkey in the jungle. 2-1 the count to Shaw. High, ball 3. 3-1 the count here to Shaw, and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. And that is popped out above the second baseman's head. Right fielder comes in and gets it. A run scores. Mornati is able to score. Shaw hits a pop-up over the second baseman's head and is at first base. The score now is 3-0 South Carolina. But she took that 3-1 pitch and looped it over the second baseman's head. The right fielder could not get in and get it. That is Emma Banton. She was not able to come in. It was just not hit far enough for her to come in and get it. So now we have Forrest, the pitcher, at the plate. Shaw took off for second to show it to come back on the foul ball. That was very unusual, having the ball stuck into the batter's cage. So Forrest is at the plate, count 0-1, and now that pitch is high to even it up at 1-1. And that is high, ball 2. have the pitch, fouled back. It evens the count back up to 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
So we have Shaw at first, 2 outs. Forrest at the plate, 2-2 to count with 2 outs. Prince George cannot afford to give up any more runs. Strike 3, that ends the inning. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th. With the score, South Carolina leading Prince George 3-0. Okay, as we go to the bottom of the 5th, Prince George will have, let me make sure I got this right. Charlie Dabney leading off, Kaylee Lippert following her, and Farrah Vaughn bringing up the rear. That'll be the batting order for the bottom of the 5th. We got 1.5 more innings to go. And then we have one more game before the night is over. Long day, people, long day. Yes, I'm on my 5th game. So I will be broadcasting 6 games today for JockJive. Oh, I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying this. But the thing is, I got Robert Williamson, who's the owner of JockJive. He's over on the other side of the field. He's got another game doing. He's doing the same thing I'm doing. It's just been a long day. But we love it. There's no reason why not to watch kids playing softball and baseball. Okay, so we have Charlie Dabney coming up, number 12. He plays first base for Prince George. And the windup from Forrest is a ball 1. And the pitch is driven over the second baseman's head into right field. Dabney is on first base. That was a rocket over the second baseman's head. Yeah, Jones never had a chance. That was way above her head, and it dropped in right afterwards. So the right fielder had to come in at Springs to retrieve it to keep Dabney from moving on to second. Clippert is up, number 13. So we are a runner at first. No outs. Forrest is in her windup and delivers. Low. Dabney stays at first. Count is 1-0 to Clippert. Or Lippert, I'm sorry, not Clippert. Lippert. Apologize to the Lippert family. Two 2-0 to Lippert. Dabney still over at first base. Lippert receives it right inside, but it catches the plate. 2-1. 2-1 to count with no outs to Lippert. And she fouls it back to even up the count at 2-2. A wind up by Forrest. Outside, making the count full. Yeah, I think they're just screaming now. The teams are trying to keep these. Prince George dugout is screaming. Yeah, she'll be hoarse in the morning. That's ball 4. All right, we got 2 on here in the bottom of the 5th. Time's called by the ump. I think they might be taking out Forrest. She did a heck of a job so far. But the coach is going to check on her to see how she is. They're getting a little action on there with the dance moves to try to spark their enthusiasm. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. All right, everything's back to normal. They have Vaughn up at bat. Farrah Vaughn, she's the center fielder, made several good plays during this game. Count is 1-0. Can Vaughn bring in a couple runs to make this a close game? One and one is count. And the pitch is fouled back. Count is 1-2. And the pitch comes in. Strike 3, caught looking for the first out. All right, as Vaughn K's looking, Gibson is now up to bat. Macy Gibson, their left fielder. And the pitch. Low inside. Ball 1. Dabney's on second. Lippert's on first. 1 out. And we have Gibson at the plate, who grounds it over to the third baseman, who tags out Dabney. And Lippert's going to second. She is safe. And Gibson is safe at first because there's no play at first. But they did get a second out. So we still have first and second with 2 outs. And Dabney was tagged out in between second and third by the third baseman, Blythe Buzzard. The pitch from Forrest, fouled back. Oh, and 1 the count to Oakley. That's Bradley Oakley is at the plate. Drives it up the middle past the pitcher, And the second baseman picks up the ball and smartly goes to the second base to get the force on Gibson. So fielder's choice on Oakley at second. So we're going into the final inning with South Carolina leading 3-0 over Prince George. So we're in our final inning here at the Grayson P. Austin Field. It's South Carolina versus Prince George. Prince George is in the field at this point, waiting on the throw around to get everybody ready and to get the South Carolina batters in place.
Leading off for South Carolina, number 7, Kylie McLaurin.
So we have number 7, Kylie McLaurin, leading off. She bats left. And then it'll be followed by Angie Rios, and then followed up by Mackenzie Jones. And a swing and a miss by McLaurin. Count is 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Lippert is still pitching. She's doing a good job. Strike 3. That's a 3-pitch strikeout for McLaurin. Angie Rios is now taking on the batting mantle. Tries to bunt herself on. She gets down to the third baseline. Third baseman picks it up, throws it over to the first baseman for the second out. Now that was Hatch, who is playing third base right now, Landley Hatch. She came in, grabbed the ball, picked it up, and fired it over to Charlie Dabney at first for the second out. Great play by Hatch. 2 outs now. And Jones is now at the bat, Mackenzie Jones. Little inside and high, 1-0. I think Jones jumped back a little bit. She thought she was going to get hit by that. And it's swing and a miss. Counts 1-1. I do believe Lippert is a little PO'd about being down 3-0 with just a half inning out. She is rifling these balls in now. They are flying in. 2-1 to count. That was a little high. She is letting the adrenaline take care of itself at this point. Lippert delivers outside, 3-1. You know, Prince George being the host team, it would be a shame if they were eliminated, but You can't always guarantee a placement when you're hosting. You got to fare against the other teams just like everybody else. But you always like to see the host team get a little further along, but they still have a half inning. Anything can happen. It's only down 3-0. 3 runs could be scored easily. And the pitch. Strike 3. That ends the top of the 6th with a strikeout in good order. So Jones goes down swinging. And Lippert has 2 strikeouts in that inning. As we go to the bottom of the 6th. Prince George is down their last 3 outs. They must score 3 runs. Otherwise, South Carolina will walk away and go on to the next bracket tomorrow. Whoever loses tonight goes home. Well, at least for Prince George, if they do lose, it's not a long drive home. But if Florida, say like South Carolina lost, it'd be a little further drive. A lot more to think about on the bus. Okay, if you're Prince George fans out there, get down on your knees, start praying. Anything can happen. South Carolina is getting ready. They think they got this one wrapped up, but I think Prince George might have a different feeling on that. But yeah, like I said, if you're a Prince George fan, hit the knees, open the book, start praying. Or PayPal the home plate umpire. I don't know, whichever one works. No, I don't think he takes PayPal. He doesn't want a paper trail. I'm going to get so many letters on that one. Emails, letters. Nobody writes letters anymore. Emails and text. Alrighty, as South Carolina infield gathers around their pitcher for a support powwow. We have Emma Banton, the right fielder, coming in, number 23. She will be leading off, followed by Cassidy McKay and Brianna Dalton. Banton is ready to go. And I misread that. It's not Cassidy McKay is second. Adriana Chisholm is second, followed by Cassidy McKay and then Brianna Dalton. So the next 4 batters. So that was strike 1 to Banton. Now 1-1. You know, for 9:38 at night, this place is pretty crowded. Foul, ball 2, or strike 2, sorry about that, strike 2. Long day. 1-2 to Banton. Banton hits it between shortstop and third base. Gets on. She's now on first base. Prince George fans go nuts. Dugout even goes crazier. But that ball has a seeing eye dog with it because it went right between the shortstop and third baseman. There's nothing Campbell or Buzzhart would have been able to do with that. That was really out of anybody's reach. It basically was in between. And the pitch from Forrest to Chisholm, Adriana Chisholm. Counts 1-0. I'm sorry, I put that as a strike. That was my fault. That is not a strike. Now it's 2-0. Banton waits at first. The ball is fouled back. It hits the fence right in front of me. So the count now is 2-1. Forrest winds up and the delivery just inside, catches Chisholm just a little off guard. 3-1 to count. And the wind up from Forrest. Chisholm knocks it out of the fence over the right field side, out of bounds. So the count now is 3-2, no outs. Banton at first, Chisholm at the plate with a full count. Forrest delivers. Chisholm fouls it off. It is quite a battle here. It's about 8 pitches so far, 9 pitches so far. Chisholm's receiving some instructions from the first base coach. Looks like Bubba Dabney. And the pitch from Forrest. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the first out. Quite a battle, but it ended up in a strikeout with 1 out. Chisholm goes down on strikes. McKay is now up, Cassidy McKay. South Carolina is getting together at the mound again. Kind of getting a little bit more excitement, slapping each other's knees and slapping their knees and doing a little wiggle. Whatever gets your adrenaline going, especially at 9:42 at night here on the East Coast in Virginia. All right, as we have Cassidy McKay come to the plate with 1 out, called strike 1. Oh, 1 to Cassidy, or McKay, sorry, yeah, Cassidy McKay. And the pitch, low, ball 1. Just want to see something real quick. Yep, that's really dark. Anyway, our camera's under cover there because, you know, the rain yesterday, we put it under a tent. And the light down there is no good for that camera. Banton had to dive back into first. 2 balls and 1 strike. But because the home plate camera is underneath all these lights, we're still getting a really good picture here. Thank God for the lights. Forrest winds up. Low, ball 3. 3-1. 1 out. The top of the bottom of the 6th. This is the last half of the inning, unless Prince George finds a way to tie this game up, send it into extra innings. Ball 4 on McKay. She takes her place on first base while Banton goes to second. So Banton is on second, McKay's on first due to a walk. And Brianna Dalton now at the plate, number 1. Forrest delivers, fouls it straight back, nearly hits the umpire in the head. 0-1 the count to Dalton. And the pitch. Strike 2 is called. The foul ball was strike 1. The called strike was strike 2. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. And the pitch is inside, 2-2. The count is evened up, 2-2. Dalton gets back into the box. Two and two to count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Fouls it off. Dalton fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. This is a battle, folks. Literally everything's on the line. We got 2 on. I mean, I don't think a home run will be hit by Dalton, but you never know. But they need 3 runs to stay in this game. Two and two to count to Dalton. Forrest gets back up on the mound and delivers a pitch. Called strike 3 out on the outside corner. What a pitch. 2 outs. Down to the final out for Prince George. Down to the final out. Natalie Merritt, shortstop for Prince George, who started the game off. She was top of the order. That ball was high for ball 1. So Natalie Merritt, number 2, steps back into the box with the count 1-0. And the pitch, fouled off, 1-1.
One ball,
1-1 to Natalie Merritt. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. South Carolina leading 3-0. And the ball is popped up to the second baseman. That is the game. Natalie Merritt pops out to the second baseman of South Carolina, which is Mackenzie Jones, catches the final out. So that's 4 unassisted. And as they come to home plate, they will congratulate each other. But Prince George is eliminated from the 2024 Dixie World Series and the Ponytail division. And South Carolina will move on and play tomorrow, where we will have 3 games, 2 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, or 2 in the afternoon and 1 in the evening, depending on how they play this out. But we still have 1 more game tonight. Still have 1 more game tonight. Well, folks, that is it for JockJive Sports for this evening of the Prince George, South Carolina Ponytails game here at the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series in Prince George County, Virginia. I'm Trey James. Thank you for joining us. Remember, it's a game. Let them have fun. Don't get too overexcited or ramped up, but just enjoy it. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow.